2025 looks set to be a fantastic year for driver releases. In today's video, we look at potentially two of the best drivers of 2025. We have the brand new Cobra DS Adapt X driver and the Titleist GT2 driver. First of all, we're going to look at just exactly what I think I like about both these drivers. So for me, Cobra's DS Adapt driver of course features that FF33 Adapt technology, so you can have multi-adjustments when it comes to line angle, when it comes to loft. This is basically the most adaptable, most fittable driver on the market. One of the other things I quite like about it is they haven't ruined it. So I really enjoyed last year's Dark Speed driver. I happen to think maybe Cobra would go a different route, looking at maybe the success of the F9, maybe put a splash of yellow back on there. As you can see, we have done a mid-handicap test with this club. Unfortunately, Brett has ruined it. So thanks, Brett, for that. But we have adjustable weights in here, so we have a heavyweight and a lightweight, just like the F9 featured, but this is still the kind of nice forgiving version. This isn't the LS version, which is why I'm testing it with the Titleist GT2. I happen to think this feels and sounds absolutely incredible. The crown looks really nice. I love that multi-material composite design on top. And essentially, I think this is a really nice sweet spot in the Cobra DS Adapt lineup. That feels absolutely gorgeous. I'd go as far as saying with this HOT face, the Cobra could be potentially one of the best feeling and sounding drivers of 2025. Of course, we know there are going to be more big name drivers coming, but for me, this is definitely going to be a huge player when it comes to what driver potentially could go in your bag next year. Now, when it comes to the Titleist GT2, for me, this is a nice little movement on from the Titleist TSR2. We know we had the TSR1, TSR2, 3 and 4. Now we have the GT2, GT3, GT4. This again is the nice middle ground. There's no movable weight in here, but we do have a huge weight at the back just to help shift CG back and low in that head to enhance MOI. Now, we do have a Therafrome crown on here, and I still will never be able to say that, but it is designed to help Titleist shift mass, again, move mass low and deep in the head to help it be a little bit more forgiving. Now, one of the issues with that for me is Titleist always had the best feeling and sounding drivers, and I like a good feeling and sounding driver. A lot of people won't be bothered. A lot of people purely want to know which one performs the best, which is why also in today's video, we are going to delve into the studio and see which one performs the best. That felt incredible. But I think if you're spending big money on a driver like this, you kind of want it to obviously perform. You want it to be fitted to within your specs, which, to be honest, the Titleist SureFit technology does work really, really well as well. It doesn't have as many adaptations as the Future Fit 33 that the Cobra has, but I think it has enough, to be brutally honest. It has to look good, it has to sound good, and it has to feel good. If it doesn't do all those things, you're not going to go and spend £500 on it. To be honest, I question how many people will go and spend £500 on it anyway. But looking down at the GT2, it does still feature that lovely traditional Titleist kind of teardrop shaping. And essentially, if you like that traditional look, you're gonna like, they're both exactly the same. I've pulled them just to the left, both of them. Be interesting to see which one's done the best. But if you like that traditional look, you're not a fan of loads of carbon on top or carbon on bottom, I feel like Titleist have set the stall out with how they're going to move through the generations of drivers. They're all going to look pretty similar to this one. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, because I feel like Titleist know their audience. Titleist know who they're trying to sell drivers to. They know they're going to get down for a fit-in, and generally they're going to be the more, I'd say, serious golfer for a Titleist. Whereas Cobra, I feel like they've been a little bit all over the place in recent years. Like the F9, the Rad Speed, the Speed Zone, the Aero Jet. Come on, what we're trying to do here. But I think both these drivers do have something nice in common. I certainly feel as though they haven't gone too far away from the previous generation. Obviously, DS Adapt stands for Dark Speed Adapt. Cobra's previous generation was the Dark Speed, and the Dark Speed was a good driver. It can perform if you get the right head for you, so either the LS, the X, the Max K, I think I've got there, maybe the Max D, you're going to get the performance you want. I happen to think that this head, the X head, is the best. And I always liked the LS head, but I don't think you need it anymore. I really don't. And also, guys, rather randomly, when I was looking for a picture of this driver for the thumbnail to this video, I was noticing that the standard DS Adapt X driver is out of stock in most places. which is quite ridiculous to say it's only just come out. Okay, so what I thought were two very similar shots ended up being two very similar results. Both to the left, both in the rough. Not my best swings, but a nice one to test. So this one here is the Cobra, and then we have the Titleist a tiny bit further to the left. I'm going to say, I mean, the Cobra's won because it's a little bit close to the fairway, but just two kind of pretty bad golf swings, pulled them both a bit, but quite pleased to see such a strong ball fly in that bad shot. So let's go again, and let's see if we can hit one slightly better. Now, the really interesting thing when it comes to the Titleist GT2 for me is the kind of time of release. So we all know that Titleist don't stick to the standard embargoes and releases like TaylorMade, like Ping, like Callaway often do, or even Cobra. Titleist have released their products early, and I feel like they do that on purpose. They know that the technology in these clubs is going to stand the test of time and probably has stood the test of time for quite some time. So not only does it feature that Ferrofoam crown, which I've already mentioned, but it also has split mast construction, and that's due to the weight saving from that crown. So that gives them the ability to reposition the weight in optimal positions for exactly what the club head needs. That matched with improved aerodynamics is designed obviously to give you a breakthrough that can give you more club head speed, resulting in ball speed. And for the ball speed, we also have that enhanced speed ring with variable face thickness. So variable face thickness is something which quite a lot of brands are offering now, especially in kind of different sweet spots essentially, so you can get more ball speed for off-centre hits. And the face features a really nice kind of tour-inspired laser etching on the face, which I think quite helps you with your alignment a little bit as well. The Cobra has a pretty decent face, or it did do, cheers Brett, but essentially I really like what Titleist have done with this. I just wish they could make it feel like the old one, personally. But that is subjective because a lot of people would prefer the old one. Or the new one, even. Idiot. This fairway, okay, this fairway really narrows up. We need a better swing than the last one. Oh yeah. Now that was actually quite towy, but that's held its line incredibly well. I dare say the speed's held up nicely, and that is left-hand side of the fairway. That, I felt the face kind of tried to gear open there, and that's done really well. Where's my tee? Not my castle tee. Anybody seen a tee? And a lot of the tech in the Cobra does boil down to that FF33, so the 33-way adjustable hosel. That's kind of gone down different with different people. So now a lot of reviewers think it's a little bit too much. I personally think it's not too much, but it should be just for a fitter. It should have a different key than what's accessible on the modern market, because, I mean, if you're a bit of a fiddler, it could really, yeah, could be the end of you. But I really enjoy the carbon sole. The carbon crown looks really nice. We also have a new bridge in there as well to allow for more stability. And realistically, I think it is one of the better success stories of Cobra's range. You can see we also have that nice kind of laser etching, which again is Tour inspired on the face to help with alignment. So essentially here, the question is, can we hit a toey one past the Titleist? That's really good. That's not toey at all, that's just a lovely big fade. That's down the right hand side of the fairway. But that's gone miles, that one. They're two much better swings. This looks so good. I never thought I'd prefer a Cobra to a Titleist, but I'm nearly there. I'm nearly there. Now, head cover game, there's one clear winner, because the Cobra, try getting that off quick. Say if you're trying to hit a provisional, you've just hit an iron shot out of bounds and go, I might as well hit driver now, and you get this out and you go, it takes ages. It's too tight, Cobra. And even that tight, you've put a handle on it. And try getting that on with the... Too much faffing about. Oh, a ball. Don't forget you. So we have the Titleist just up in the fairway there, and the Cobra actually took a bit of a wild bounce, but it's up there to the right hand side. It's quite a long way past. The Cobra was better struck. It did take a strange bounce. Okay, so we have the Titleist driver here with that toey strike. As you can see, not much run out this time of year, and the Cobra is just over there, tiny bit further, but obviously out to the right. It took a bit of a strange kick as well, that. So I'm going to give this one the Titleist because it was an off-centre strike, it was toey, it didn't go to the left, it's in the fairway, it's not had any run out, and the Cobra, even with a good one, again, all down to me, it's how I'm hitting the shots, but I'm going to give that one the Cobra, no, but I'm going to give that one the Titleist, so that, sorry, I filmed this 3 times, but it kept going camera battery full. it's 1-1. Let's jump inside, let's see exactly how we got on in the studio with these clubs, and then let's finish it out here on the golf course. I've filmed that segment 3 times now. It better have worked. I think it's worked this time. And it's funny, you know, because I do often think when you look at a driver like this, the Titleist GT2, you can fit it to within, well, a fraction of lots of different ideologies, can't you? Then you look at the Cobra and you're like, wow, you can properly fit that into absolutely anything. So that felt incredible. I must admit, I'm a little bit disappointed with the feel of the GT2, but that's one of the longest drives I've hit in a very long time. That's up at 301 yards, really nice low spin. It's carried over 275, which for me is always a bonus nowadays, being old, fat and rubbish. Can we hit that shot again though? Can we? That's what we want. That's a little bit higher, the spin's jumped up a little bit. I still think that's going to carry okay though. It's not going to have much run out. 260 carry, 274 totals. You can see just what differences we do get in the strike locations. I have cut across that one as well. I think it's going to be easier to keep the Cobra down with having that movable weight front and back. Still not a bad shot. It's a 270 carry, it's 287 total, but the spin's 3000. So for me, very similar shafts in these clubs as well. Having the ability to move that weight could be massive. That's interesting because that's toey and the toes allowed the spin to drop. I've not even struck that well, but that's releasing up to 290 yards. You know, I can get over the feel and the sound of this with the performance. I personally do prefer the look of the GT3, but the GT2 does offer all-round more forgiveness realistically. You can hit low spin long drives with it, but what about this bad boy? And again, apologies about that. Thank you very much, Mr. Cooper. So without discussing looks too much, because we have discussed that out on the golf course, I must admit, I do really enjoy the look of that carbon crown. I've pulled that one a little bit, 2,500 spin, pitching 255. That one actually, the feel and the sound thing's a really funny one for me. A really funny one. That felt incredible. But again, we've got the heavy weight at the front, that's spinning at 3,000, but it's still carried over 270, so it's still done pretty well. 288, call it 290 yards total, even with that quite high spin. Having the amount of adjustment you have on here can really help. And that's the toey one, similar to what I hit. I'm really pleased I've hit that one. Ball speed's done okay. It's not carried quite as far as the Titleist has when I hit that really toey one. And the really toey one for me is a shot where I feel comfortable with, to be honest. It kind of neutralizes my cutting across it. That felt really good. Again, spin maybe a touch high at 3,000. It felt fantastic, that. Trying to keep that ball flat down is going to be key. We've got them set on pretty much the same lofts. It's just being able to move that weight port I think's helping. That felt incredible again. That felt so good. Just pulling the Cobra though. I don't know if I've changed the lie angle a bit too much. I'm obviously not blaming the lie angle totally, but this is interesting. This is up there with the best I've hit. 1900 spin, 272 carry. It's just shy of that 300 at 296. I almost feel like that's all the Cobra's got to give you now. It felt like a really good strike, good spin rate, good everything. And that's trying to squeeze more out of it. Right, that is everything I've got. That has to go 300 or the Titleist won. Is it? Is it? Oh, it is! These are two great drivers, I must say. Two very good drivers. Right, as you could see, very, very similar in the studio, and that's why I think really, if you are going to get either this head cover, either of these drivers in 2025, I don't think you'll be overly disappointed. As long as you do go and get fitted for them, I really hope Cobra are going to go on a massive push when it comes to fitting these clubs. You can't have a 33 weight adjustable hosel and then just expect people to work out for themselves. And I haven't heard anything yet of, like, be it road days, be it, to be honest, anything. Why do I have 3 golf balls? To be honest, anything that is going to like to get fitted for these clubs, I don't know where the nearest Cobra fitting centre is. I know you can go and get fitted at your local American Golf if your pro has a fitting cart, but it needs to be more than that. They need to run with this now they've set it up. That's a towy one, similar to the Titleist on the last hole actually. It's going to be okay. That's down the left hand side now. The beauty for me with the Titleist is you know what you're getting. You know you're getting a Titleist driver, you know you're getting all that technology, and you know that really if you do go and get fitted for it, you can keep putting the shafts from your old club into the new one, whereas you can't do that with the Cobra, which is a little bit of an annoyance if you've got maybe an upcharged shaft in your old one. Now this is interesting because I've basically roll reversed the last hole. One slightly left, one slightly right. Let's go and see where they've finished. I think I've got a winner in my head. I think. So we have the Titleist shot here, which was well struck just up the right hand side, and the Cobra a little bit towy down the left hand side. Now, I think the Cobra takes it for me. And the reason being, I think there is too much going on with that 33-way adjustment hosel unless you go and get fitted properly for it, which time will tell. But I think it sounds fantastic, it looks great, the movable weight technology is fantastic. I just think it's really, really good. Guys, if you enjoyed that, smash that subscribe button, let me know which one would you have, and apart from that, I'll see you all at the same time tomorrow. Goodbye. Children.